Like, that's got to be so tragic for them off the bat. You know, like, you kind of got to wonder, like, is it going to get to their head? Is it going to mess them up for the rest of the series? Of course, it is just one map, but I mean, a scoreline like 16-3, not very pleasant at all.
Yeah, it really kind of sits in the back of your mind. But either way, Jay, we can talk about the map, we can talk about the past. But there's one thing we always should be doing in Counter-Strike. Our job to do is to talk about the present, because this is exceL-Point versus Team CEX. exceL on the CT side, CeX over on the T side. It's going to be Kevlar all across the board. exceL-Point on the flip side going for the Kevlar and kit-based play. As both of these teams look to provide that upset. Mighty Max starting off strong, crisp as ever. Sliggy there to be the thorn in the side of his opposition, starting exceptionally well with the USP as he takes down Astro. This is looking good from the exceL side. Jenko getting another. How far are exceL going to go with this one? Are they going to clean sweep CeX in the pistol round? Yes, yes they are. Jenko, a triple kill.
Fantastic stuff from the exceL-Point side. Instantly shutting down any push and any aggression from the CEX team. Like you said, a clean sweep. Not a single man went down on their side. Fantastic from exceL-Point. Pick up at the first round, and we are seeing a very similar situation to what we saw over on Mirage. CEX now, no bomb plant, but they're still going to eco anyway. Only Glocks and P250s out for them. Astro has got himself hands on the bomb. exceL-Point, 3 UMPs. And the M4 on Jenko as well. We'll start to get the aggressive defensive out. The connector and up towards the top of the middle area. Mighty Max gets one, gets a second. Lazar is going to be the 2-on-5 situation. Favors the endpoint side and the exceL-Endpoint side, but CEX, not surprising at all. Just 2 P250s in play. All Cs.
JD is the last man remaining, and the last man to hit the deck. And my eyes are really drawn away from the action right now, but actually to the top of the board, because you know the whole little new graphic thing, the whole little sick little thing that Valve implemented? I'm pretty sure that's wrong.
Yeah, I'm just going to point that out. Yeah, very quickly. Yeah. It does say that CEX are up 1 and exceL-Endpoint are up nothing.
I mean, CeX they can have a dream, but it's a very faint dream. Unfortunately, that is not the case. They would have been if they didn't get 16-3 in the last map. But if you have only just joined us, that was the reckoning that happened. exceL are now tied 1-1. So hopefully, I'm sure our production team are going to work hard to fix that one-man job. JJ, work hard, play hard. I know you're doing well, my friend. But to bring things back to the action, though, still the importance of it all. 2-0 for the CTs. JD sneaking around in connector foot by foot as Astro dives on towards short, straight through a smoke, spots up ahead of Jenko, and he's gonna jump straight onto that one. Lazar is gonna find the trade. Cryptic still looking to do even more on the site, but he's doing so well at it as well. He's looking for Brody C in the smoke. He can see him, he can feel him, he's landing the shots. Astro is gonna respond to bring it back to a 2 versus 2, but look at Astro's HP, just 17, such a small amount. The bomb is gonna be dropped. There's nothing they can do. There's a minute on the clock, sure. JD, he has time. He's got 2 players chasing him down. Bloodhounds looking on their final mill.
3-0. CEX put up a decent fight at the very least, but in the end, it will be all for naught. I did think they took down 3 players in that last round. I'm not 100% sure on that myself, but regardless, it will be just another pistol round for CEX after that force buy. I mean, a good effort. You have to put it towards them. They've got a lot of money, so they should be able to buy pretty strong in the next round. But for this one, for the exceL-Point side, it looks like it's going to be another run over with many a rifle and many an SMG brought up to their favour. They're going to be picking up 2 Astro and LS2 for 2 Mighty Max and Lazar. Back to a 3-on-5 exceL-Point. Pretty dominant so far. Looks to take their 4th really easily with a CEX eco.
I think at this point, exceL-Point, they're still carrying forward that momentum. It's so early to tell if it really is going to take hold in the buy rounds, but at least in the pistol and these kind of anti-eco setups, they're playing very, very well. And not only that, they're playing as a team, which nets them the ability to not take unneeded damage, which really helps their economy, which is something they were able to outplay CeX on so hard in that previous map. Jenko, he's going to be in a bit of a battle, takes down Brody C as well, and Lazar in the fray will fall, but not damage that can easily be replaced. The CT side of the column is that is already starting to build up to huge amounts. Look at $9,600 from Sliggy.
4-0. Lots of money on the exceL-Point side. CEX will buy in full for this next one. 4 AKs, AWP on Astro, Emo on the exceL-Point side. 3 rifles actually an SMG on Mighty Max, and Lazar's going to be the one with the AWP for them. All part of the team doing good work in previous matches, in previous rounds. Hopefully should be doing some good work here on Overpass. It will be standard aggression coming out from both teams. CEX held up towards Park and Fountain. they'll just bide their time. I think they're expecting or hoping for exceL-Point to go aggressive and to try play into the hands of their egos almost. We've seen them do that before, especially on overpass. They push when they think they know they can win it. And in this case, they are pretty dominant. They just wiped CeX off the board in the last map, and so far they're 4-0 up. CeX, meanwhile, will get themselves up towards the long area and towards Party. That's mostly the setup as exceL-Endpoint also looking for aggression, and it will work out to their favour. Mighty Max picks up Rezu, first kill on the board.
Problem yet again with that frag. Please educate me, tell me, where on the map is that trade potential? Where is there even a possibility without them going for a push towards a site? And trading and going for a push towards a site are two very, very different things. Already a rough start for the CeX boys. One man down. Basic stuff, that's elementary. The crux of the situation is now going to have to be a quick split on towards B. They have no choice. 25 seconds on the clock. Molotov's burning on away. Shots coming down. Damage raining from above. Brody C knocked down to just 23 HP. And CeX, they've still not garnered any ground at all. This CT side are forcing them back. They are running for the hills. 10 seconds on the clock. They know where they stand. They know the value in this. And the value to give up this fifth and play for the sixth.
Indeed, I think you're 100% right about that, and once again, we're going to see a situation where exceL-Point are going to be up 5-0, so a very similar start to how we saw this on Mirage, and I'm just kind of worried that this is going to go the same way as Mirage, because if that's the case, then CeX will have their work cut out for them for the next couple maps. exceL-Point 5-0, CeX, like you said, saving, should be able to get themselves an okay buy in this next one. They've still got the 4 rifles from the last round with the AWP on Astro. Rezu going to invest his money into the UMP armor and utility buy. Meanwhile, exceL-Endpoint, same scenario. AWP, 3 rifles, and the UMP on mine. Playing that very, very well in the past couple of rounds. Now it's going to be up to CeX to try something totally different. Fast push towards B. Loza takes down one, but Bracey sprays down 2. Loza and Jenko end up falling, and now the rest of CeX roll their way like a freight train on towards the site. Rose is going to get the bomb down. Still one playing close towards it, with Cryptic's going to be trying to see if he can spot out the bomb plot. Now, not going to happen. It will get shot down by Bracey. A 2-on-4 situation. And finally, CeX start coming into their own, but it's still a retake to come in here. Sliggy setting himself up on the backstab. We'll get some tag damage out onto LS, but Mighty Max still over towards the heaven area. He can try to find anything. Sliggy on the back takes down 1, looking for a second, but it's going to be forced to back off. A reload.
A round on the board for CeX to play with. This is exactly what they need. I find myself still concerned by the reset, though, and that feels so blunt and horrible to say because... I want to see that Max.
Oh my god, no way.
No.
No way.
Oh no, you've got to be kidding me. Mighty, oh!
No! Ooh. Jesus Christ. Well, CeX damn near through that round, but fortunately, within just a split second, they managed to find the kill. I think Rezu's words are pretty precise.
I don't know if he even had time, but I don't want to think about whether he had time because he was still just too close. That shouldn't be happening, not on LAN, not in this matchup, not in the grand finals. 5-1, CeX still clearly having some troubles here and there. Don't allow yourself to get reset in this round. Cryptic's already aggression, straight into short, looks for a frag here and there. Some shots fired towards connector, but it's not going to lead anything to things. They slow down. CeX want control. They don't want to feel like they're being rushed. That's when they play their best. Peek on towards short. Cryptic's the first man to fall. Smoke's going to land. Max is going to trade things back. Sliggy going to throw a nade that actually should do a fair bit. Rezu getting knocked down to 40 through a smoke. Jenko still firing, but look at him. On towards short. Should be able to get an easy frag on towards Rezu. We go back into a 3v3, but Max somewhat out of the action.
The advantage just goes back and forth and back and forth as Mighty Max finally gets an advantage for exceL-Point. Good trades coming in. The AWP on Astro is still watching the site. There's 3 players going to hit up this retake. The Molotov will push him out of the way, and Jenko's going to be able to take down Astro. So Bracey, last man alive, will get taken out of the action. So an overall a very messy round from CeX towards the end of that last one. Will get turned around, and exceL-Endpoint will have a chance to reset. I think they actually, with the money situation, they will be able to. Very little amount to cash on the T side, and just a good potential of rounds just falling apart for the CeX boys. This is not what we wanted to see. This is not how they wanted to start this map off.
It's identical to the way the first map went, and we already know the result of that. They're 2 very different maps. The Overpass and Mirage, completely different in function. But it doesn't feel like a map-based play. It doesn't feel like these guys are kind of relying on the way they play these maps to carry them forward in the scoreline. It just feels like exceL-Point are winning all of the Angels. They're positioning themselves better as a lineup right now, and CeX are kind of just pushing on these sites, and they don't know how to respond. The biggest point for me, though, comes back to that good old T-word, trading. CeX, it feels like they're put in a box 24/7, because every time they get a pick, the exceL-Point side just trade it straight back, and they pull an advantage out of thin air.
Good start from CeX at least. They tag and take down Sliggy very nicely. brodyC also with the good read onto where Mighty Max is. Takes him out the action. Couple of players tagged up on the CeX side. Love's going to take advantage of that takedown Astro, but even so, brodyC is going insane. The 3K for him with a Tech 9. Now it's going to be a 2-on-1 situation as Cryptix gets that double, and Jenko has ended up falling. So LS and JD holding two very different angles, one on site, one towards middle. The Molotov will push LS out to the left-hand side. No, he's going to burn alive, and Cryptix will finally give it away. Beautiful stuff right there. JD's still watching out, and he will peek out with the AK. Shut him down. So an eco round, a force buy coming in from the CEX lineup. Will be able to pick their second. exceL-Endpoint, however, has got lots of money to spare.
Much as I want to give huge props to CeX, not to diminish their round at all, that's great for them to make it work with his pistols. I do feel like it has to be props thrown to Cryptix for throwing down the Molotov. That's always something I like to see, and something I always feel like I kind of want to highlight to the viewers at home who might necessarily realize the importance behind that. Just the way he jumped straight over Transform after following that to force him to peek. He has no choice but either die or peek. That's a great little way to separate it back down to a 1 versus 1. But that aside, it's back to the train, back to the fact that CeX are starting to speed up a bit now, starting to make this seem like a possibility of not just getting wiped out in this grand final. 6-2 is the score, and still pretty distant, that 4-round gap, but easily to 6-3, and from there 6-4 if they play their cards right in this 9th round. AWP on towards Astro, still of course going to be searching for shots here and there. Sliggy looking up towards Party, trying to be the party pooper. Not quite going to happen just yet.
AWP out for both sides here. Astro and Luzza in particular. Meanwhile, the 4 AKs and the 4 M4s there to back it up. Limited utility on both sides as well. I just noticed actually only one player on each side has a full set. Of course, there's been plenty of opportunities to use that. We have seen some tossed around, so maybe the buyouts were looking a little bit different. 6-2 here. exceL-Point holding close to angles. 3 on B, 2 on A. In fact, Sliggy is holding out towards long, expecting CeX to go aggressive in that area, but they're not going to do it. Instead, full presence towards connector and short, as they are going to throw some smokes. Flashbang over towards the A site. They're faking the A site. In fact, it will be the full push coming in towards Monster. JD, good Molotov on towards the fire blocks area. Jenko's going to get taken. They're going to take down one onto JD. LS turns on through, manages to land the spray. brodyC and Rezu kicking up 2 more as well. Luzza and Sliggy, last 2 alive. 4-on-2 situation. It favours the CeX side for the first time in a very long time. LS going to get taken down by Luzza, however, with the AWP in his hand. Still got to find 3 more, however, as brodyC peeks out, sprays away, but isn't going to find anything. Meanwhile, the M4 on Luzza is going to be taking the close range assault range, taking brodyC down. Astro is going to go falling, and this whole thing falls apart for CeX. 2 kills, on Luzza and exceL apiece. Now it's just CeX. A great read, a great round that once again it just fell apart.
Okay, they just won a 4 versus 2.
Exactly. It just
CeX,
fell apart so easily.
What are you doing, boys?
I don't understand how Endpoint managed to pull that back. CeX just massively fluffed that round, and that has got to be pretty tragic for the T side. Back to pistols, back to nothing for round number 10.
Not looking okay right now. Revillo, hey, cool, pause. Get your boys hyped up. Do something right now. Change something. Because you're just getting wiped off the face of the earth yet again in this first half. It's 7-2. They're on Tech 9s. This is already a desperation-based play. Feels like they're already reading their last rites, for God's sake, in this grand final. It's so tough for them. Tech 9s are going to go aggressive, though, at least. And that seems to be the only thing they've been able to do well. Is this aggressive Tech 9 split on towards A or diving around through connector. But unfortunately, Tech 9s don't win you maps. They win you a few rounds. Mighty Max going to be there with the M4 to try and do some damage. Pulls back to a position, waits for the push to come his way, and just like Christmas, the frags are handed right onto him. LS is going to tap him down, though, with the pistol in return. A Tech 9 yet again going to go on towards that A site. And this is the one thing they seem to get right every single time, is, okay, get those pistols on towards the A site, but do that with rifles.
A 3 versus 2 situation that favours the CeX side. They are going to get those pistols down onto the A site, and now it's going to be JD holding off the rotations to get his team to get a bomb plant down. Cryptix goes falling. JD on 19 HP, and Jenko 79 for a 1 versus 3. They've done a clutch like this similar to 4, and they do it again. They know he's coming in towards short. The Molotov, the flashbang 2 flashbangs will give away his position. He'll get taken up to 62, and LS will peek around and finally take him down to finally put a round on the board once again for CEX. But even so, like you said, you know, they need to do that more often. They need to do it with rifles, more importantly, on those rifle rounds, those buy rounds, because winning ecos is one thing you can do, but that's not going to win you the game. Fortunately for CEX, they will buy back into this one, and exceL-Endpoint are going to be on a force buy with just pistols, deagles, 5.7s, CZs, armor, and, well, fairly an alright amount of utility, I would say.
This is actually perfect for CX though, right? Because this actually does present them an opportunity now where if they don't screw this up, if they can win with these rifles, then they have a very serious opportunity at closing down this gap and actually starting to find those rounds. So perhaps a wish is about to come true. The only way we're going to see that is by watching this 11th round unfold. exceL, they're the ones on the pistols now. They're the ones who can't go aggressive, but have to sit tight and hold these angles and hope that the shots will land. It's going to be 2 men into a connector. They're going to peek one out right into the arms of LS. He's there ready and waiting. M4. Laza looking down on board short. He's certainly going to be helping here. Max to find one with the CZ, but there is the trade. But they walk right out into Laza. He finds himself another with the 5.7. His connector still in control. Still a 3v3. Brody and Les looking very, very low, which I'm sorry, but that helps a 5.7. That helps a deagle.
Indeed it does, and now exceL-Endpoint starting to move on towards the A site, coming in from Bank, coming in from the stairs. They'll get the bomb down on the CEX side, and LS just about spots out Jenko, take down a 9 HP, lucky shots, and a lucky chance for him. In fact, it will put him back to just 9 HP, and just about stays alive in this one. But exceL-Endpoint still looking to try and make their way onto the site. LS finally gets taken down, 22 HP on Brody. See Astro's rotating around towards the water area, trying to see if he can't find anything with the AWP cross. It's going to be a spray coming in from Brody, who just manages to line them both up. Fortunately, with a good read onto where the bomb was and where the defuse was coming in from 7-4 CEX. They almost fell apart in that round, which is something I actually wanted to bring up really quickly. Both of these teams seem to struggle with that anti-eco so much, and I don't really understand why.
It's a weird one, but I think at least there's the positive, right? At least there's the fact that, as I discussed when we got into this mess of exceL having to force up and such, was the double eco routine they'd have to do off the back of that now, and that's really kind of the brunt of the situation. CX, the grin, starting to take shape at 7-4. Very likely it's going to go 7-5. I'm sure not without damage, judging off of the pistol play that we've seen, as you mentioned. But 7-5 is much, much different than the old 7-3, 7-2 that we were originally witnessing. So perhaps, you know, we can start to be a little bit more, well, happy about the way CX are approaching these rounds. Not necessarily about that though. Why did I say that? Why?
Astro still going to try to get himself on the board, as it's going to be 2-for-1 trade out. exceL-Point still, despite being on the eco, are going to pick out players of CEX. I've got a rifle back in their hands. I can see you face man. It's just not going well for CEX. Once again, the bomb will get planted. We're down to a 3-on-3 situation. A minute to go, down to 40 seconds. Now as the retake coming in from exceL-Endpoint. This time, once again, 2 AKs in their hands. The grenade will do some serious damage onto Jenko, but even so, still going to be a push coming on through. Bank and Stairs going to be the pushing out. CEX handle a very big position here with Brody and JD setting up a crossfire. Cryptic's going to be taking one down, but it's back down to a 2-on-1 situation. So CEX will suffer a lot of damage going into the next round, regardless, as it will be Cryptic's final man to fall. LS walks away with 6 HP. But once again, a round that they shouldn't have let go so far to one side. 7-5, they'll win it. But once again, only an AWP and AK stay in play.
It's just the little afterplant stuff for CX that keeps saving them in these rounds, but yeah, I am legitimately facepalming. In fairness too, you just allowed USPs and pistols to get so much done to you on the B side. If they didn't go A there, which, you know, again, fair play to them, that's a smart call, they more than likely would have lost the round. Too close for comfort. But it's 7-5. I'm never going to take that away from your team. Team CX, they were looking out at this one, but no, this is a fight. Yes, it may be a bit of a dodgy one. Yes, it may not be in the way we expect, but it is a brawl. Max, though, is going to start off strong, claiming the life of JD, hangs him up, and says, no, you shall not. Unfortunately, in this 13th round, his impact is going to be completely fruitless.
JD, well, nothing he can do now. He's going to have to sit this one out and wait for his teammates to try and find what they can find. 5-on-4 situation favors the CTs of the exceL-Point side. Oh, it looks like there might be one more going to that favor. Yes, it will be. Laza picks up Astro. AWP will connect. And a minute to go now for CEX. And well, just methodically, exceL-Point have managed to pick apart the CEX lineup. 3 versus 5. Not a single trade coming through CeX side, which is something you said has been a problem, and the flashbangs at least will try and formulate a push. Luz is still going to pick up rezu, and LS going to trade him back out. 2-on-4 situation is now. They're going to start moving on through. Sliggy, here's the bomb getting planted, takes down LS before he gets the chance, so no economy for CeX this time around. Brody C now, an impossible task of a 1 versus 4, and getting sprayed down by Sliggy for the double kill to close out the round. Great one for him. 8-5, exceL-Endpoint will win their CT half.
Already be happy with that one. CeX though, they don't just bow to these things, they get to buy up these Tech 9s, they get to get that Kevlar up and still have a very strong chance at competing for what could be Infinite on 8-7 if they can do well in this round with these Tech 9s. You know, traditionally, you look at this matchup and that's been their biggest success point. So I'm not going to write them off. However, you know, if you look to exceL-Point and say, okay, play standard, don't let the Tech 9s get close, don't let them splice in between you. 9-6. Potentially a 10-5, much more likely. Astro, though, he's going to go aggressive. They walk right into a frag grenade. Luzza completely caught off guard. He's just hopping around the place, trying to dart on away. Gives an ADP up towards Brody C. The man who has been hitting his shots, he's going to look towards long. The timing, oh, that is brutal. Not going to spot him out. Finally, Matt's going to get himself into position. Playing the life of rezu, but Brody does peek on back and does take down Sliggy.
Very good round coming out here from CeX, and once again the not the force, because I didn't spend as much money as the percentages we would have liked to think, but they managed to get themselves Tech 9s and armor plentiful, and managed to actually take the fight to exceL-Point. So again, I'm going back to this conversation of what is happening in these anti-eco rounds that, well, realistically these teams should be winning, and they're not managing to do. The Tech 9s managed to dominate exceL-Point. They get themselves 2 rifles to work with, a bomb plant, and not only that, they get a round victory. Mighty Max has retreated far away. He's not even going to bother taking this one. He's just going to hold on to the M4. CeX is 6th.
I don't usually like the whole comments in chat sort of thing. Never usually a big fan of it, but I actually do agree with Jenko. If only they could do that with some rifles. It really, they would be winning the half right now. Don't know what it is that makes them so successful with their Tech 9. I feel like, you know, my gut instinct always leads back to them to be able to always get themselves between, you know, the CD side. You have kind of on the left side half their players, on the right side the other half on the flank, and they just dive out with their Tech 9s. They're able to quickly tap their heads and mop them all up in just a matter of seconds, and kind of Endpoint is sitting there going, oh, okay. They just don't have to respond. It was a bit of a weird play, but a play that with that underfloor aggression does so much for them.
I think it's more down to something being along the lines that you can run and gun very easily with a Tech 9, because you can see that that's how CeX play with those Tech 9s. They run, they shoot, and they just keep going, and they get right up in the face of exceL-Point. And that works out so well for them for some reason, because what we saw in the last round, they took a round victory and they took away a couple of good rifles. But again, the problem is that you're going to find a way to make that work with rifles, as we are entering into our 15th round, our final round of the half. exceL-Point. Only 2 rifles to work with as a 4 supply does come back through. 5-7s other than that for the rest of them. And not CeX. Question at the moment is, will they lose out another round, which they should ultimately win. 8-7 is the scoreline they're looking for. LS peeking on through, spots out. Jenko shoulder peeking, picking up on top. Cryptix as well. JD with a backstab. And Luzza and Cryptix fall together. It's going to be Mighty Max, last man alive. 8-7, exceL-Endpoint win out the half against CeX, but CeX finally get themselves a decent scoreline on the board.
Yeah, really stepping up towards the end. You know, off the back of those Tech 9s, that was their leapfrog into being able to make a few rounds work. Their buy rounds were hella shaky. We've kind of really beaten that dead horse right to the very end. But hey, they managed to get themselves one final with those rifles. Still with the exceL-Point side when they were on pistols. But now they have to do it all over again. The second half. Talking about pistols, it is going to be the pistol round. exceL, they've been very, very strong with these Glocks. A lot of burst fire play. Been a bit of an exciting one. I'm curious to see how much they're able to achieve with this, if it's going to be yet again a pile out towards A. That seems to be the old faithful Astro. To hear those thundering steps, oh, how crisp does he want to be? Starts off strong, one taps Luzza, deletes him from existence. This ain't going to slow them down. This ain't going to stop them. They are charging forward. The USP is still looking for taps. rezu, the god in his own right in previous matchups. Can he repeat similar success as well? It's all about the CeX side stepping up. Bomb is going to go down. Brody looking for that boost. Sliggy going to be there with the Glock as well. Just spamming on through, but it's not quite landing. DTs, all but piled on up, and there is the Glock push. There is one. Astro again looking for a second. Gets it, now going for the third and final. rezu going to continue his push. CeX out of nowhere. Prompt him with aggression, prompt him with headshots. A triple kill from Astro. Wakes them up in that round, fires them on all cylinders. And CeX equalize things 8-8.
CeX busting out a bank to try and pick up exceL-Point's retake. Absolutely fantastic stuff. It was a 3-on-5 situation, and I did want to bring to point that CeX, well, They had a pretty decent, they had a pretty bad chance going into that retake because, I mean, what happened was this exceL-Point, without even taking a single frag, I mean, they actually lost picks against them. Managed to still find their way onto the site and push the CTs off that site, which can be a very crucial problem for them if they manage to give up so easily with the utility buys. CeX might have a couple of problems trying to defend some sites depending on how exceL-Point want to play with their utility. For now, though, we'll focus on just this eco round coming on through. exceL-Point getting the bomb down in the last round. P250's Tech 9s. They will actually play fast once again, so well, can we see another CeX clutch with those pistols coming out on towards the A side? It will be Asher that sprays down, takes one, but Cryptix and Sliggy trade him and JD back out for 2. 4-on-3 situation. Brody takes Laza out of action. Sliggy still holding close and will shut him down with a quick flick. 2-on-3 situation. Rezu is close up on the angle and will spot out Cryptix. He's burning alive and he will go down as he does take 2 with him. It's now down to a 1 versus 1 as LS. Oh, you see, it was a team molly. I didn't even realize. Oh my god, that is not how you want to play that one. That is a horrible start for the exceL side, but he does spot out the head, taps the bomb, looking for the headshot, and will find Mighty Max. A bit of a sloppy round for CeX, but they will get the lead anyway.
Unfortunately for Mighty Max, he could be in a 1 versus 1, but he has no Kevlar, no weaponry, just a P250. It is a bomb plant though for this T side, and that means only one thing. They're going to be going to this one with a full buy of all varieties, and AWP is always an option for them as well. If Sliggy wants to be the man to buy that one up, but not without dear cost. Doesn't have too much back pocket, and fortunately he's already made his decision. It's going to be 5 flat rifles, and I think the much more sensible decision at this point. I feel like rifles for the exceL-Point side are really where they can, ironically speaking, actually excel because of just their ability to hit their shots, tap those heads, and go together as a unit. On the flip side, CeX playing ahead. This is new. This is refreshing. How long are they going to last? Do they have the stamina to keep this up?
Well, we'll find out. Full buy coming in for the exceL-Point side. Full AKs in this one. CeX also have themselves the 4 M4s from us on JD, and actually a limited amount of utility for their side. They're going to be a couple of Molotovs, a couple of smokes, both to try and hold off exceL-Point for a little bit. But for them, they've got plenty more. Two players with full sets, 2 smokes, a Molotov, a flashbang, and a grenade other than that. So definitely a lot of execution potential coming in for the exceL-Point side. It looks like that, well, they're pretty spread out here, so it looks like they're looking to play for picks once again, looking to try and see if they can prompt out aggression from the CeX side and maybe, just maybe, find their early advantage here. But so far nothing coming out, no teams biting, 45 seconds on the clock. It looks like exceL-Point will formulate a push towards the B site this time, before coming in from short and bomb through Monster.
Running the clock so low though that CeX, if they use their double Molotovs correctly, he can really slow them on down, and they're going to do just that straight on short, denying the quick off-the-cuff push that they have planned. This allows JD now to go in from behind on connector. He shall run Riot, should be able to find a double. Unfortunately, is going to fall rather short. It's going to be a quick 1-for-1 trade. Jenko and CeX will all combine. LS the man to do the damage. It's going to be a bloodbath on this bomb spot. Who comes out on top? Well, who knows at this point? It's a 2 versus 2. LS peeking up towards Ramp, looking to step up in this one, finds himself the pick on towards Sliggy, leaving just Laza playing towards Sandbags. His position is ever so known. The leg has been spotted. Shoot him in the shin. End it that way, and so he shall. LS going to be doing huge work in that round, aided by Rezu being the trusty teammate he dearly needed.
The smallest of pixels gave him away, and LS picks up the kill by tagging him up, making him panic and taking the final at the end of it. 10-8 CeX. Do formulate a decent retake coming in, but once again I go back to the aggression of exceL-Point. They're down to just UMPs as a result of the damage done to the 3 players going down. So yes, it kind of matches up against exceL-Point's buy with the 3 UMPs on their side, and it actually kind of beats them out with 2 Velvet rifles. But even so, those are dangerous guns. We know this for a fact. The UMPs can be super deadly if you can play them in the right kind of sense. But CeX right now will formulate themselves a stack over towards B for the most part. 3 players going to start rotating away. The 1 heading over towards the A site and 2 already there. Meanwhile, a good grenade. Oh, that damage. Nice play from Rezu. He doesn't even have any idea, but it's going to come into effect a little bit later on as Cryptix tapping away. We'll be able to get Brody C, takes him down towards heaven. And now exceL-Point will take that and back off and reset themselves for an execution.
Yeah, they don't need to go straight away, and they know that CeX can't rotate off the back of that as well, because they know they're positioned in a way that CeX have to be scared of connector. That fast rotate that you have on a map like Overpass. So for them to sit tight and still set up is actually just great for them. Then they throw their flashes. This next Jenko, the easiest frag on towards Ellis. Ellis is flat up blind. There's nothing he could do in that scenario. It's unfortunately just a situation that he finds himself stuck in. JD is going to come in on the rotate, but this round is all but done. It's down to the play coming in from Endpoint. It'd have to be a huge clutch. Another 2 versus 4, and even that is seemed to be impossible. As Astro is going to burn away in the flames, tries to become one. Fortunately, it is not quite going to work out in any way, shape, or form. JD still toying with the idea of going for this one, and you know, hey what, fair play to him. But it's not going to happen, mate. The positions are all but covered. exceL know exactly how to respond to this one. They know how to push your buttons. 9-10. Look at the economy of CeX. This is pretty much equalization now at 10-10.
Definitely. Well, more than likely, I don't want to count them out on eco rounds because we've seen how CeX can do some serious damage to the exceL-Point side here. And of course, this is their CT side rather than their T side, but even so, they are still formidable with those pistols. P250's coming out, a couple of USPs. JD has a smoke on him. Try and hold off the exceL-Point side from any sort of aggressive push. Try. They're going for the B site this time, which is great because CeX, they've read this one pretty well. They've stacked 4 players over to that site. One going aggressive, lurking up towards the top of the middle, and the smoke will come out and try and see if they can block them off. JD is a little bit too late, however, as they've already started to move. Next one, so they're going to get traded out. Cryptics. See if he can go and get Rezu takes him down. So 4-on-4 situation. Now it's going to be Sticky Funny moving in to take down Rezu. CeX setting themselves up with a nice backstab coming in from Astro, but it's not going to happen. Brodyc and LS. Last 2 alive here. USPs in hand. Headshots to bust, and even then they've got themselves head armor, so it looks like it's going to be around on the board for Endpoint exceL, or exceL-Endpoint. Let's say so as appropriate. Sticky gets a Brodyc and LS that's left to fall at this point. 10-10 now. It looks like it's going to be exceL-Endpoint with a very nice draw up here. LS gives up his life. 10-10. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly what we expected. There was really nothing too crazy that went on. It was just a standard round of CS that was always more than likely going to lean one direction, and that was just because, unfortunately for CeX, they had nothing to play with. This round, however, is completely different. We have no idea where this is going to go. It's an equal footing across both sides. They have a perfect matching of rifles. AWP is the only thing, the only advantage that CeX have in play, and that's debatable on the team. I don't know if exceL really need more to be able to do work, to be able to pick up these rounds, especially on a T side like Overpass. Ooh. Astro, unfortunately, pick up a tag. Not going to lead to a frag just yet, but a tag is still advantage in terms of the damage.
Can't deny that. That was a good flick. Very good flick in the smoke. Managed to land onto Jenko. He's on a 23 HP. Has to play a lot less forward. In this case, we will be seeing him grouped up with the main grouping connector towards area. So exceL-Point playing their cards right and playing them close to their chest for that matter. AK is out. And 4 saved on Luzza as well for the push coming in. CeX have an AWP on Astro. Over on the CT side, they'll stack up towards B once again. They're still Sticky playing Lurk and trying to prompt out. Forced to rotate away from the CeX's B hold. Not going to happen so far. Still 2 players, 3 on B to try and hold it together. And they'll actually rotate. And JD is not really looking the right way. Cryptics takes him down. That's a huge mistake coming in from the CeX player. That's going to leave the bomb site open up to Astro to try and defend with the AWP. Spots at the first, drops the bomb. Nicely played, but he doesn't see Sticky coming in from the right-hand side. He shuts him down back to a 3-on-4 situation. Cryptics gets a headshot, 2-on-4. Rezu down to 6 HP. And this round is all but fallen apart. For the CeX side, it's going to be a 3-on-2 situation. JD is calling a pause in this case, which CeX, well, at the moment is now the right time. I think it actually is as we approach closer and closer to the end of the map here. Closer and closer to that map point. Rezu and LS have to back off, have to save. CeX will be down for the first time in a while as exceL-Point will be up 11-10 and a pause coming in for the CTs.
The big question here for me is who's calling for CeX right now? Has JD taken over from Rezu again? Because that was something we saw happen yesterday. JD about halfway through in that second map was kind of like, okay, you know what? I've got an idea. I'm going to do my thing. And Rezu, he's not a guy who says, no, what? No, I'm going to, you do this and you do it my way. No, he's open to the floor of suggestions. So they work really well with that dynamic. But it does kind of raise the point of they have 2 very different styles in the way they approach these rounds. Now I feel like JD could bring something different to the CeX side. And with him calling that pause, it could be something as simple as he's just the one to type it in. Or this is his opportunity to go, right, we're pausing, I've got something to say, I want to talk this through. If it is that, I'm actually quite excited for the CT side.
But now, there's not a whole lot to be excited about. Only 2 guns in play from the last round for the CeX side to be using for this next one. It looks like it will be a Quasi or a Force coming out from the CT side. exceL-Point, however, meanwhile, going to be having the AKs out for their side. Mighty Max, also with some money, probably just going to hold out and just wait until the end of the pause to buy. New players do that a lot. Yeah, he probably going to get buying up in a very similar situation. If not, actually, he has AWP potential. So that would be very, very cool for him. Maybe trade it out with Loza.
There's so many different options like across the board on both of these teams right now, and the priority is you have time. You're not kind of rushed with 15 seconds to make those decisions. Instead, you can kind of work out, okay, what do I need utility-wise? What do I need across the board in terms of firepower? Do I want to go for something like an SMG here? Do I want to use that to counter the close range? Because bear in mind, one of the things we've realized in CS recently is that a UMP isn't all that bad. Sometimes it is acceptable to go for a UMP. So a lot of choices can be made. Maybe even, you know, of course, the AUG or the SSG, whatever variant. I don't know why I keep calling it the SSG. It's just an SG. It's not a scout.
It's because it's a scout, and it's just the similarity.
It's in my word. 24/7. You don't see it so much. Maybe it's just because it's so new. Magic Boy, what have you done to me? Can't believe it. Insanity.
Well, exceL-Point will decide to buy up into the 5 AK buy up for the Mighty Max. As already aggression comes out from the CEX side, not a whole lot to work with, so they've got to put their numbers behind it and try to see what they can find. A spray comes in from Rezu, picks up 2, drops the bomb, and it's going to be traded. Loza gets probably C, but Astro gets him back. It's down to 4-on-2. Still a good chance for the T side now, as it's going to be Sliggy challenging onto 1, seeing a takedown. Rezu will do so. He drops the only rifle that CEX had. It's a 2-on-2 situation. Now down to this UMP on LS and JD with that. Right, he's picked it up actually, so that's fantastic stuff. Now they can defend. Now they have to try and lock off that bomb, and then we should be able, well, CeX should be able to hold it in this case. Actually, they're going to go passive and instead try to hold site instead.
So heartbreaking, the boys at CeX, because they had a perfect play there. That aggression was something totally new, totally unexpected, and it did so much. But what they didn't equate for was Sliggy just being able to tap heads left, right, and center. The flashes making things even more difficult. Because exceL was so quick to respond, it's not like they were just dazed or confused. They weren't no deer. What does this mean now? Well, that 2 versus 2 really putting them make it or break it scenario towards long. It went either way. More than likely still would have been a trade into a 1 versus 1 though, so a 2 versus 1, well, it's just even better for this T side, but not impossible at all for CeX, especially with the bomb plant that Sliggy's going to go for. As LS is primed to be able to do something here, but that SMG isn't really going to favor that sort of a Angel. Needs to get a little bit closer. That buys time for Sliggy to drop down a smoke, get themselves in a nice little angle play together, have Max cover his behind, make sure that no flank, no crazy business is taking place, while Sliggy drop down a Molotov, make sure that no pushes come out towards Dumpster, nothing from Bank. First toggles that defuse. Well, they're just going to wait, they're going to be patient, it's going to be a quick stutter step, they're going to go in together, they're going to rely on the trade. The minute he buys his shot, the minute he's preemptive, they force the issue. There's the trade.
I saw it for a second and just flashed before my eyes. LS getting both those kills, and that would have been a fantastic hold, a fantastic round from him individually. Although I will say that, honestly, I'm quite surprised that he didn't go ahead and try and pick up one of the rifles that would drop back towards the park area. I feel like that probably would have helped him out a little bit more, get that first kill instantly off the bat.
Probably time.
That second. It probably would have been time, Mr. Right, about that, but at the same time, he also did have a kit in his hands by the time he got up towards that site. So, CEX, probably, you know, it's still a great round from them, obviously, doing some serious damage to the exceL-Endpoint side, and in particular from LS with the money he would have been able to recover from that SMG, but overall, I think they probably could have done a little bit more in that round. Sliggy is also going to do a little bit more in this round. LS goes falling already. It started to fall to pieces for CEX. At least JD will get some aggression of his own out onto Janko, shuts him down. And now CEX will trade once again 4 for 4 right about now. AWP in the hands of Astro, AKs for everybody else. The exceL-Endpoint side, they're pushing towards Monster. Sliggy takes down Brody C. Look and see what you can find. It's going to be Loza that picks up Rezu as they're going to get double peaked here. 2-on-4 situation. Astro and JD work cut out for them as they try to retake onto this B site. This is going to be a challenge for the CTs.
JD is going to go for above, but a quick Molotov is going to dismiss that position. Sliggy going to drop down just another nade. How much is that going to do? Well, the answer is actually not too much at all, but it still puts Astro in a bit of a box position now, trying to play towards one side of a smoke, and that is so scripted, so easy for Loza just to hold it. He's going to spot out that barrel any second now, and there you have it, finds one, peeks out for the second. JD is going to punish, but he's walking into the arms of Sliggy. JD, I don't see any hope. Run away, my friend. Save, let him fall. Going to be another round on the board for this terrorist side. 13-10, and is he even going to save? Because he is standing around I don't even know what he was doing there. Was he trying to find the stairs? Yeah, I think that's actually a good point. Tried to jump for the AWP, so that's something we didn't quite get to see. I could see him kind of spamming around trying to grab something. I'm not sure what. So at least we have that answer for us.
Oh, thank you, producer JJ, for letting us know what the hell is going on when we can't see what he's observing. 5 AKs coming out for the T side. A bit of a weird buy coming out from CEX. 1 UMP and just the pistols out for everybody else. Probably C and Ellis getting Kevlar as well. But other than that, no utility. Quite weird from CEX. You were looking yourself quite puzzled there.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting things really kind of striking over, unfortunately, for CeX. The problem here really is that they feel like they have to respond. So they want to go in hard and fast. Downside is it's kind of like this mixed bag of Kevlar pistols and SMGs. Not even SMG is just an SMG on itself. CeX historically don't play very well with this. They play well with Tech 9s and actual brute force together as a unit. So I don't know how to feel about it. Rezu is going to find himself one, but the rifles just start to overwhelm them. Astro is going to snap back into action with the P250 of his own, but just look at this aggression coming out. Astro, he can't respond. It's such a tough fight for him to do. Brody with the Deagle brings back a little bit more magic. JD just another. Cryptix is still standing. He's still trying to go for the clutch. Goes for the trade transfer and finds the one-tap on towards Brody. Credit where credit is due. CeX playing that one much better than I expected, but they still can't close it out. They still can't achieve a round. But the plus side, something we didn't quite get to talk about due to how hectic it got, is the amount of the investment they put in. They still afford to full buy everything they need in this round. So it really isn't that big of a deal. It just comes down to what they could do at the time.
Definitely CEX now with a full buy under their hood here. Aggression coming out from Astro with the AWP heading straight up towards the top of middle. See if we can get anybody coming out of the team main. But nothing so far. Endpoint, exceL, or exceL-Endpoint. Saying it wrong this whole weekend for me. exceL-Endpoint will still be holding their tongue, waiting for a CEX mistake, a pick, an advantage for their side, which has been, well, pretty decent for them because if they can get this one, they roll their way on towards the map point here, take themselves 2-1. Potential to take these best of 5 series. 3 maps is what we are looking for those of you unaware. CEX now setting themselves up for the defensive. 3 players once again on the B side. 2 holding towards middle. They're going to leave long open. And exceL-Point will hold out, waiting for their chance. Although Brody C does actually spot them out just for a second there. And it's going to be Astro who's going to get called the information. They're coming towards Connector. Jenko is going to get taken down. Instant headshot or instant AWP shot. Shuts them down 5-4 now. 45 seconds on the clock. exceL-Point still scrambling to decide where they're going to hit.
Yeah, we're starting to run out of options too. It's kind of just, okay, let's go back towards B. And that feels like a really last-ditch attempt for both of these teams. They really lean on this B site much more than A. Whether they find it easy to take, who knows. exceL-Point will throw down the mollies. A fairly quick and dirty execute, but one that will do the job, but not until Rezu strikes into play. Picks up a double kill, spindling around the place, and he's picking up the frags all over the board. Brody then going to be there to hold the crossfire. Cryptix, the last man standing. Yes, he was able to clutch in previous rounds, but this is a 1 versus 4. Unheard of stuff, and then not even manpower. There's 10 seconds on the clock. This is not happening. CeX, they start to fight yet again. 11th round on the board. 14-11 is going to be the scoreline. We're starting to see CeX begin to prop themselves back up again, start to actually come back, because exceL, they're so close, they're so down to the wire. Their economy isn't perfect by a long shot. They can get some drops in here, and that will support them in this round, the immediate future, but the next few, if CeX really can start to make it work, becomes a much more scary prospect.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is going to be an awkward round for exceL-Point. You will see, it should be a full AK buy coming out. Yeah, just about coming through for all of the T players. And, well, full sets of utility for most part, except for Jenko, who can't get all that together. The money, however, situation for them is pretty dire. And if CEX can get another round on the board, this could be exceL-Point giving up another round. That's 14-13 potentially. We do see them make this one work. LS starts things off, takes down Luzza. exceL-Point getting themselves on towards the site now. Jenko going aggressive, takes down Bree. Cryptix gets one, and Jenko sprays through the flashbang. Astro turns back with the Sliggy. It's a 3 versus 2. It favors the T side. And there's Jenko. He's still going nuts. 3K. Astro, only man alive to try and keep it together for CEX. Not to be reset in this round. 1 versus 2. AWP. Jenko hears him, gets the Molotov out to push him away from the the jungle area, but he's still got work. AWP in hand, he knows where he is. Oh my god, he does a great read onto Jenko, tags him down at 27 HP, doesn't find all of it, he gets a tag even through the main default box. Now it's going to be Jenko lurking, spraying on through, and just about finds the head with a spray. Great stuff from Astro, but it's just not going to happen today. 15-11, exceL-Endpoint, that point.
Not looking good at this point, is it? It's very, very unfortunate for CeX. It felt like the more they play, the better they improve, and the better they can respond to this lineup. But the thing about best of 5 is, yes, you have a lot more maps, but there comes a point when you get yourself so far down in the ditch that it is just too much for you to accomplish in a mere day. And at 15-11, oh, it's all or nothing time yet again over on Overpass. By no means a stomp. A much closer affair, some much better rounds, some stronger CS. Did it change anything?
Oh, no.
So far, Cryptix straight through the smoke on towards rezu. Pinpoints his head. More than happy to take full advantage of that pick now, as they're not going to bite the bullet, not going to do anything crazy stupid. They're going to play to their advantage. Perhaps even try and find just another frag in what is effectively a standard default at this point. But Astro, wait patiently with some aggression, is going to find the quick trade, the return, the table flip. The CT side as a 4 versus 4 is much, much better for them.
They're trading at least. It turns it back to a 4-on-4. This is still doable for CEX, so long as they can find the right angles. In this case for JD, or in close range with that CZ. If he can get a headshot, rifle in his hands, good stuff. Be able to take down the other players pushing in from exceL-Endpoint. They're moving on through towards the A site this time. It's going to be Jenko, starts things off, takes down Brody. Nicely done. LS spots out the information, lines them up, takes down one, but he can't take down a second. Now the bomb plant could come in. JD's still holding close to face, and I don't think they realize what's going on. He finally takes down Mighty Max. He's at 2 versus 3, 1 versus 3, as LS takes down Sliggy. Luz is going to be the lone man alive, and CEX will retake the site successfully for their 12th round on the board. Potential comeback, potential for an overtime here.
I think CeX are starting to inspire the dream, right? They're starting to build into it. But it's too early to say, yeah, they're going to go 15-15. It's 15-12. 3 more rounds. 3 crucial plays. And it's not just a simple, okay, you're going to do the same thing, do the same kind of objective of tackling these buy rounds. You have the whole variety that exceL bring to the table, and a lot of that is down to their economics. For example, now they can't go into this with AK-47s. They just flat out can't afford it, so they're going for the quick nitty-gritty Tech 9s. But those things are going to get down and dirty. They're going to fly on under, and they're going to force you into a position where CeX can still be taken advantage of if they screw up. You've got Kevlar behind 3 of these players and utility. So every round is going to be a different test. Every round is going to be one where they have to adapt. That's the one we're looking to see. 1 pick, 2 pick, LS, a spray down for him, but Sliggy is going to find the return. They keep on batting through this one. Sliggy going to get that bomb down to 3 versus 3. Bit of HP here and there, but all of the CT side are coming from all but one angle. It's not quite the way you want to approach it when Tech 9s are in play, because they're ready to train you. A boost is going to come up from Brody C. Sliggy isn't going to spot that one out, but they can't find a shot either way. rezu going to try and look for some information, but there is nothing he can clear. Hyper Transformer. Sliggy is still lurking around, goes for a couple of headshots, gets some information, knows the angle of rezu, takes him down as well. Is this all going to be about it? Sliggy still looking to do so much with this, still jumping around, knocks on towards Astro, he's going to fall. Last man remaining, Brody C has to clutch this one out, 1 versus 2, Immortal on the bomb, this is done and dusted, he gets on it, but it's not enough. exceL, they will take it 16-12, another map on the scoreline for them.